Good morning, students. Hope that all of you are well by the grace of Almighty. This is your Pallob sir from St. Gregory's High School and College. Today I am here to provide another lecture video of Chapter 2. In our previous lecture video, we have already described about general troubleshooting. We had started this topic but didn't finish yet. So let's start this general troubleshooting topic again so that we can finish this topic today. So general troubleshooting, we already know that this experience is very unusual, that electronic devices have not gone out of order or not created troubles during using. Some problems are very usual and some are unusual and complicated. Usual problems can be fixed by the users, but they have to take the help of experienced people for complicated problems. Computer or ICT devices are not exceptions. Those who use electronic devices have noticed that an operating manual is given with every device. The manual contains a section on the last 2 or 3 pages entitled Troubleshooting. So these are the basic part of troubleshooting or some problems. So that we can solve those problems. If we face that problem, so that we can solve that. There are some important lines for the MCQ questions. Troubleshooting mainly is the process of finding out of the source of troubles. Usually, some questions are given with solutions. The users, according to the nature of problems, solve it following the solutions. So the users, according to the nature of problems, solve it following the solutions. In fact, troubleshooting is a systematic process. Troubleshooting is mainly a systematic process of identifying the source of problem in ICT devices in order to solve it. In the manual, usually some possible problems and solutions in relation to the ICT device are mentioned. The users, following the basic troubleshooting steps given in the manual, can usually resolve the problem in most of the cases. Usually the word troubleshooting is used for hardware related problems. Some troubleshootings are discussed below. So we have to remember that usually the word troubleshooting is used for hardware related problems. So mainly it's based fully on hardware basis, but sometimes software basis problems is also called troubleshooting, but that's not the proper troubleshooting. Proper troubleshooting means the hardware basis troubleshooting. Suppose there are some serial numbers and there are some problems. So here there are some general solutions if we face these types of problem. So if we face the problem which is called the computer is not starting up. If our computer is not starting up, then what will be the solution? First of all, check the main power cable whether the connection is loose or not. Then secondly, check whether there is power on the main power board. If there is no power on the main power board, change the main power board supply unit. So this is the important thing. If there is no power on the main power board, change the main power supply unit. Take the device to the local service center and consult an expert service center. So these are the solutions, general solution if our computer is not starting up. Then nothing is viewed on the monitor though the system is running. If our system is running but still we can't find anything in our monitor, so then we have to do something like turn off the system and unplug the power cable from the main system. Secondly, remove the RAM from the slots. Clean up the connectors of the RAM, rubbing with an eraser. Clean up the slot of the RAM with a hard brush. Turn on the computer without installing the RAM. And notice whether you get any beep sound. Turn on the computer in case if you get the beep sound. If you get any beep sound, turn off the computer and again turn on after installing the RAM. If you get any beep sound, you have to understand that the RAM is faulty. If you get any beep sound, you have to understand that the RAM is faulty. Install a new RAM if there is no display yet. Install the RAM and check again. Faulty RAM is the reason for at least half of the display problems. So mainly if we face the blank display but the system is running, then we have to follow these 9 procedures. The system becomes very heated and abruptly shuts down. So what should we do? We can do open the casing. We have to open our computer case, CPU case. Remove the CPU or processor fan from the motherboard, but don't remove the processor. Perhaps the heatsink is filled with dust that creates obstruction on the free flow of air. As a result, CPU cannot be cooled. Clean up heatsink and the fan and install again. Now after closing the cabinet, turn on the computer again. If the problem is not solved, take the computer to a service center and talk to an experienced mechanic. So if our problem is not solved, then take the computer to a service center and talk to an experienced mechanic. The computer shuts shown on its own at very few minutes, but it is not heated. So what should we do if we face these types of problem? If we face these types of problem, then we have to check the motherboard carefully and find out if there is any leaking or faulty capacitor has got loosened. Tighten the capacitor and the problem will be resolved. So sometimes the capacitor got the loosen, then we have to tighten that capacitor to solve this problem. Then notice very carefully as the computer is running whether any IC or any other component producing extra heat. Be cautious, let not the board be shorted. If it happens, go to the nearest service center. So we have to notice very carefully as the computer is running whether any IC or any other component producing any extra heat. So if you find any extra heat, we have to show the doctor. That means computer doctor. So we have to take our CPU or electronic devices to the service center. The device hangs while running the Windows. If we face these types of problem, this is a common problem. The device hangs while running the Windows. So in this case, we can check whether there is any virus in the hard disk by running an upgraded antivirus. So we can check whether there is any virus in the hard disk by running an upgraded antivirus. Taking the backup of important data from the disk, format C drive and install Windows fresh. It should be done with an expert. So it should be done with an expert. If our display hangs when the power button is turned on, then what should we do? We have to follow some steps. So first step, turning of the power button and opening the casing. Remove carefully the data cables and power cables connected to hard disk, CD-ROM and DVD. After reconnecting the cables, restart the computer. We have to restart our computer if the problem persists. Then we have to follow the second step. After first step, we have to follow the second step, that check our RAM, processor, power supply connections separately, whether they are faulty or loosely connected. If the problem persists, in the third step, check the motherboard using the processor, RAM, hard disks, and other related equipments from an active computer. If it is not active, change the motherboard, get the job done by an expert hand, or taking the computer to a service center. So we have to check our motherboard very carefully. If there is another problem or any problems yet, so we have to take that to a service center. There is a note, sometimes this problem persists when the keyboard and mouse port of the motherboard are loosely connected. So set the connection properly. So students, that's all for today. In our next lecture, we will also discuss some another troubleshooting. So if you face any problem, then you can comment in our Facebook groups or YouTube comment section. So thank you again. Stay safe and stay at home. Try to stay at home. Thank you everyone.